whether you're just starting out with PyTest or you're a seasoned Django developer. This guide will help you streamline your testing process and work more efficiently. You will learn how to set up PyTest and VS Code exports, powerful testing UI features, and getting tips to make your test run faster and more productive. Before we dive in, let's quickly go over the prerequisites part. Make sure you're all set up for this guide. We need a Python interpreter, and we need to make sure it's accessible from your terminal. Django SUT, or System Under Test, and we need VS Code. Our primary editor for this tutorial, VS Code's testing UI, is primarily provided by official Python extension. If you haven't installed it already, follow my step. Open Marketplace and search for Python, and install the first extension we see in the list. Now, let's get the necessary dependencies installed. For this tutorial, we'll be using PyTest and its companion plugin, pytest-django, to handle the Django testing. We assume you already have a virtual environment set up using your preferred method. If you're not sure which one to use, we recommend taking advantage of VS Code's dev containers for a seamless development experience. But feel free to stick with whatever works for you, whether that's venv, virtualenv, pyenv, or conda. In my case, it's pyenv. I will select it as my Python interpreter. And now let's install PyTest and write this Django. Next, let's configure the plugins or packages. There are a few ways to do that, including talks.ini, project.toml, or pytest.ini. For this tutorial, we'll be using our preferred method, which is pytest.ini file. The most crucial step in getting pytest-django up and running is specifying the Django project setting module. In your pytest.ini file, you'll need to add the following line. Django's setting module equals core.settings. In my case, it will be tutorial.settings. This tells pytest-django which setting model to use, ensuring that your tests have full access to Django's context. By doing this, your tests will be aware of your project's applications, database configurations, and any other settings essential for running Django tests. Next, let's create a unit test module and write a basic test with an assertion. I will call it tests. Create a new init.py file, and my test will be inside test assertion.py. A new very simple test. Let's open our testing tab in VS Code, which is this one. If you don't see it right away, just open any Python file and it should appear automatically in this list. Sometimes you don't see your test right away. In this case, you can open a command prompt in VS Code and do run all tests. And it should appear afterwards in this interface. As you can see, our tests are already set up. They've been executed and everything is working fine. Just to confirm that we have access to Django's context, let's import Django settings. And let's just print them. If you don't have access to Django context, we'll just have an error on this line. So let's see. Everything is working fine, which confirms we have access to Django and are operating within Django's context, exactly where we need to be. As you can see, we can easily discover and run tests through VS Code's UI, but being able to debug tests is just as important. VS Code can automatically discover debugger if you have selected interpreter. So let's put a breakpoint on this line, for example, and try to use it. We just click this button. It is on your test. And yes, our debugger is working. We stopped exactly at this line. We have our debugger console. And it works exactly as you would expect. As you can see, using VS Code's testing UI provides a seamless and intuitive experience. Our tests are displayed in a convenient tree view, allowing you to easily run or debug any individual test or test suite with just a click. One feature we particularly appreciate is the ability to view tests from previous test runs. To do that, we just open the Test Results tab in your terminal window, and you can select any test run on the right side. And we will also be able to see the logging output, assuming that we have it, but we don't for this test. This can be incredibly helpful for troubleshooting and understanding why a test passed or failed. With this setup, you not only gain a clever overview of your test suite, but also powerful tools to debug and analyse your tests efficiently. Let us know in the comments what you think about this approach. Do you prefer it over traditional methods of typing pytest commands in the terminal?